Well, joining me now is Peter McLeave, who's a stem cell donor campaigner who's living with an incurable form of blood cancer. Peter, it's great to have you coming in, taking that time out to come in the studio to speak to us. Now, you were diagnosed in 2017. Just tell us a little bit more about your condition, living with it day in, day out.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with myeloma back in 2017, a bit like Antoinette, who you've seen before. It's, for me now, a regime of chemotherapy every day for 3 weeks, and then you get a week off. And just trying to sort of manage the day and take advantage of the time that you have. I mean, it's all about family, children, and making sure I get as much good time with them as I possibly can, because unfortunately myeloma is incurable, but with the right treatment it is manageable, and that's why with the stem cell donor, one of my aims is to hopefully try and find the match, not just for myself, but for everyone who needs one, and buy time until, you know, maybe the scientists can find a cure one day.
It must take a lot out of you in terms of all the treatment that you're having, the energy that's taken out of you. I mean, how are you feeling today and how do you cope with it? Today
is a good day, feeling well. This is my week off, so it gives the body a bit of a break and me time to reset, which is fantastic. And, you know, talking about it a lot, it's about readjusting your mind to this new world. Prior to a diagnosis of blood cancer, I had a career, family, loved my sport, and a lot of that changes the things you can't do because of the compromised body and immune system. But for me now, I see the benefits of raising awareness and talking to people about this, and trying to get people to understand that right now they have the power to influence this. They have the power within them right now, everyone who's watching this, to potentially save a life. And even if you don't get called up, talk about it and spread the message, because there are so few people on the register anyway, and there are so few people of minority ethnic heritage on the register. It means that the odds of anyone finding a match is slim, but even more slim for those people who are not a couple of generations white European, of which, although I look white European, my family hail from Southeast Asia, so no, not so easy.
Absolutely. We will talk a little bit more, actually, about Black and Asian stem cell donors, but you talked about raising awareness and talking about it. You're doing more than just talking, you're walking the walk. I mean, you launched the 10,000 Donors campaign. Just tell us a little bit more about that, and also the number of people that you've managed to help in that time since you launched.
10,000 Donors was my opportunity to take ownership of my situation. It became very clear that there were many things I couldn't take for granted anymore, but understanding that if I could find myself that stem cell donor match, then potentially I can look beyond the 7-year prognosis I was given back in 2017, that I could influence that. And it became quite clear it was just simply a game of numbers. It was about talking to people and raising awareness and just getting people to understand that through a simple cheek swab, you can potentially save somebody's life. And it's about having that, for me, it's having agency over a situation which rips away agency from the rest of your life. So as long as hopefully it's doing well, you know, since launching 10,000 Donors in 2018, we've surpassed 100,000 registrations now, and as part of that campaign, we got our 20th match last week. So 20 patients somewhere have had the phone call to say they've had their stem cell donor match, that potentially life-saving match, which is fantastic. And it just goes to show that the more people register, the more matches there will be, the more families will be kept together, the more lives will continue to be, to be enjoyed by people.
Absolutely. And we touched earlier on, didn't we, about Black and Asian communities having to come forward, because there is a real shortage, isn't it? And you also touched on that, because actually you're saying that you don't look it, but you do come from Asian heritage, and so having to find a match is proving quite difficult as well.
Significantly more difficult. And today, 2% of the UK population are on the stem cell donor register, so of so few people, but wonderful for someone in my situation, because I've got 98% of the UK population and the global population to go after. But the odds today are stacked against anyone of a minority ethnic heritage and mixed race heritage. 72% chance if you're white European, at best 37% chance if you are of any other minority ethnic heritage. And it's a health inequality that exists for a number of reasons, but it's not that they don't matter. What matters is doing something about it. And you know, I run this campaign called Gob for Good. It's the most recent campaign that 10,000 Donors has run to, you know, raise awareness of using a cheek swab to swab your gob. Through something that simple, you can make that difference. And the core theme that flows through the Gob for Good campaign is the health inequality, and that we can't wait for other people to do this for us. We have to act today to help one another. And I think when people understand that and they realise that they need to help their community, they need to help fellow human beings, and they can do through a simple cheek swab, more often than not, people will step up and they'll register and try and make that difference. But we need tens of thousands of people, we need millions of people really to register from all communities, specifically communities who are wholly underrepresented. But as a patient, we just need one match. Yeah. It's that simple.
And as you're saying, it's a numbers game as well, isn't it? Oh, yeah. And Peter, I know that you've been doing a lot of work. I mean, you've been up on planes. I mean, you should have called us. We would have joined you on these activities.
Oh, I'd do it again.
Tell us a little bit more about these fundraising events that you've been doing. How much money have you managed to raise so far as well?
For all the charities we support, the ACLT, DKMS and Newcastle University in particular, with the God for Good campaign, I'll explain why in a minute, we've raised certainly north of £130,000 since campaigning, and all that money gets channelled into the logistics of swabbing people, the costs of educating people and processing the swab kits as well. But for me, it's again communication. These campaigns, they're great fun to engage with, but it's just a different way of communicating with people, with engaging with people. And you've got to find interesting ways so people look at that and go, wow, OK, why is he strapped on the back of the plane? Why is he driving a car around Europe? Why is he doing all this daft stuff to raise awareness? And it's an interesting way of getting people to listen and understand the simplicity of the problem and what they can do to impact and influence the resolution of that problem. But it is great fun.
I mean, it looks amazing. Next time, give us a call, will you? We'll join you on there.
I'll be on the blower. Right, job done.
But do you know what, Peter? You're doing amazing work. You're not only talking the talk, but you're also walking the walk. And I know that you're looking, and I do hope that you inspire somebody to come out and people to come out. And I'm hoping that you do find a match. Thank you so much indeed for coming in to speak to us. Peter McCleave there, stem cell donor campaigner. Amazing work. Thank you.